Oh, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 612 of FloWrestling Radio Live. Kyle Bradkey, joined as always by Ben Askren. What's going on, Ben?
As always, because I show up to work. This guy, Christian Piles, he doesn't show up to work enough. It's embarrassing, Christian. Missing too many days. We might have to cut your damn pay.
You
What do
are
you
always
think?
here, no matter what the temperature is outside, no matter how much snow or ice is on the ground. Christian, as we
Yeah.
talked about yesterday, was going to try to drive across the country. I think he realized that it was not going as much as he wanted to be back today. It wasn't going to
He
happen.
was gonna do 20 hours straight and show up today. Come on, man.
Yeah. So this is funny. He actually, they were going to go down through Atlanta and then cut across like Alabama, Mississippi,
Uh-huh.
Louisiana, thinking that'd be a little bit safer path,
Makes sense.
given, right. So, anyways, JD was in Iowa at Captain's Cup, and all those guys were stranded there. But JD was able to get on a flight to Atlanta, and he thought getting to Austin from Atlanta would be easier, or he would be able to do it. Well, the problem is it wasn't Iowa. It's Austin's airport that you can't get into right now. So he still
Yeah.
can't get in. So they were going to be going through Atlanta anyway. So they picked JD Raider up and Tyler.
Boom.
Tyler, our producer's back. We'll get to him in a second. But if you want to go ahead and pull that picture up, Tyler, they picked JD up and they throw him in the back with the kids.
Classic.
and, and now he's just the creepy guy in the back with the mustache. But so I'm sure he'll be having fun with Caleb and Natalie all trip long. And I think their goal is to get to Baton Rouge, Louisiana today, and then finish out tomorrow. So it'll just be me and Ben the rest of the week. It's gonna be awesome.
Jeez, Christian, ditching the whole week. You know what? I wanted to flip out on you, Texas people, because I was feeling semi bad for you for like a day or two, and then I looked. It's gonna be 70 degrees next week,
I
Kyle.
know.
It hasn't been above 10. It hasn't been double digits for freaking 2 weeks in Wisconsin. I
I
gotta plow
know.
my driveway every other day. It's been ridiculous up here. You guys get one snow when you want the nation to cry for you.
We don't want the nation to cry for us. I mean, all the people on this show, me, Christian, Tyler, producers in New Englander, we're all very used to these conditions. But the problem is, the state of Texas is not and is not prepared for things like this to happen. Um,
But
so,
Kyle, the great thing is it's gonna be 70 next week. All you have to do is stay in your house, shut up for a few days. The snow will melt itself. It's going to be 70 degrees.
well, what about the people that don't have power? Our producer Tyler, he's staying on a friend's couch right now because they don't have power.
He should probably cuddle up with his friend. Stay warm.
I know
Like
we took
hibernating
in
bears or something.
we took in another Flow family, Colby Paxton, did a lot of Flow football stuff with them. They don't have power, so we took them in. But hopefully everyone gets power back soon, and we can return to our 70-degree days and our normal FRL cast.
So I did
Ben,
check. I checked out your weather just to. So it's 70 next week. But listen, let me tell you this. I don't know if you guys know this because it doesn't happen very often down there. But snow melts when it gets above 32 degrees. So you're in
right.
luck because today's 34, tomorrow's 36, the next day's 41, then 48, and eventually all the way up to 70. So your snow will be gone soon enough. Your snow will have lasted a whole, I don't know, 5 days or so. I mean, we've had snow on the
Yeah.
ground for I don't want to say 5 months, but it feels like 5 months at this point. So the Midwest, we don't whine for you. We just think you're soft.
All right. That's fair. I mean, the majority of the people down here are soft, so there's that. Uh, the native Texans are soft. Um, all
Absolutely.
right, there's honestly not a ton to talk about. I don't know where you want to start.
Wait,
There
what area
was
code is
some.
612? That seems like
Let's look
something
that up.
important. Oh, Minneapolis. There you go. I knew it was someone I had heard from recently. Minneapolis area code.
Who are you talking to in Minneapolis? Gable?
I don't You know what? I don't think I've ever connected with Gable. Yeah, he's tweeted me a few times. I don't think I've ever connected with him. I think it was something about business or something like that. I don't recall exactly, but
You two would be electric together.
I could be as listen when he goes. You know what? I'm just gonna put it out right here because I've done other things for Gable on FRL. Gable, if you go to WWE, which I think is likely,
Mm-hmm.
I will
Yeah.
be your in-ring manager. Do you guys remember? Do you watch WWE when you were a kid? And there was the like scummy
Not.
manager that was outside the ring, and there was the one guy that had the megaphone, and he would hit people with the megaphone when they weren't listening. That's what I'm gonna
I
do.
wasn't like super into it, but I know like the characters you're talking about. You'd be good at that, yeah.
Yeah, I could do that. Just stand out there and taunt people, and then Gable goes in there and freaking smashes them. Yeah, that would be fun. We could do that. That'd be
Oh,
fun.
you'd be good at it. I don't know.
Hey,
Maybe
so
let's start with.
wait,
Go
I
ahead.
see
Go
one.
ahead.
There's one piece of news that I saw last night, and I want you to. I always read my Twitter, and I think they're relatively reliable sources, but I feel like you guys um, always can fact check me. So I read that University of Iowa is seriously considering adding a
Oh yeah.
women's wrestling program. I thought that was really cool. Is that
Hmm.
you're saying that's true?
Yeah. Gary Barta, their athletic director, he's the one that said that. So that's coming straight from the horse's mouth.
Nice.
You remember they dropped a few programs, I think men's and women's swimming, but they're reinstating women's swimming because I think they were they'd be like violating Title IX, and so I think they got in some hot water with that. But so women's swimming is coming back, but then he also confirmed that they are considering adding women's wrestling. Um,
Oh,
I didn't read the full article, but it sounds like it's something that they've been talking about and trying to figure out the logistics of. I don't know how easy it would be right now, especially if they're dropping programs and you're in the middle of a pandemic and Big Ten's not allowing any fans, so they're not even like some schools because basketball season is going on right now. In some schools, you have between like 1,000 to like 4 to 5,000 people in the arena, depending
yes.
where you're at in the country, and there's nothing in the Big Ten arena, so they're not getting any gate from that, any kind of revenue from that. So I can't imagine that the finances are fantastic right now, but it sounds like that's something they really want to do when they can.
Yeah, that would be a tremendous. And I mean, for what it's worth, women's wrestling, when you already have a male wrestling program, has got to be the cheapest ad in the history of the sport. I mean, you could probably have a lot of coaches that cross over,
Hmm.
like that would help coach both programs, especially those younger coaches who aren't maybe involved as much in the day to day logistics, and doing all the paperwork. But like as far as running the practices, doing the small group sessions, that type of stuff, you can use the same coaches for both programs. You obviously have 24 hours in a day. And probably at most, the men's wrestling team would be using the room, I don't know, 2.5 hours, maybe 3 at
Right.
most. So you're going to find you have time. You don't have to build any additional facilities whatsoever. Yeah, I think it makes a whole bunch of sense. I think hopefully Iowa can be a leader there, and then more and more programs can start adding because that would be huge to
So
grow the
yeah,
the
so this is what he said. He said, "quote We have looked into women's wrestling for obvious reasons, the history and tradition on the men's side, and then last July, the NCAA recognizing women's wrestling as an emerging sport. With facilities in place and new facilities in the planning stages, Barta recalled that an earlier study put estimated startup and annual cost for the sport at somewhere between 750,000 and 1.5 million.
that seems reasonable.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and being in Iowa, like people want to support the wrestling program. It feels like they can even probably fundraise that.
Yeah. Well, how much didn't they raise something insane for? Well, I thought the wrestling room was like 15 million or something, right?
Yeah, I forget what the exact number, but it sounds like they were gonna like it was gonna be paid for by private funding.
Yes.
I'm looking it up
So,
right
and it was
now.
a gigantic number. So, raising that smaller number, if they've already raised that gigantic number, should not be, I don't want to say all that difficult, but it really shouldn't. If
Right.
they've raised 10x of that, raising another 10% should not be much.
So this is from February 5th, 2020. Um, The University of Iowa received approval from the Iowa Board of Regents to begin planning a new wrestling facility. To date, the project had received over $9 million in gift commitments, which in part funded a preliminary needs assessment and design plan. So they already have $9 million
Boom.
to go towards this facility.
That's what I'm saying. Just raise a little more, baby. They already got 9 million.
Yeah, yeah, man, that
Hey.
is insane.
Hey, so the
Um,
next piece of news is something else that I saw last night, and I thought you had to wait like a year, Kyle. This Sabalov transfer. I thought it once you transferred, I thought it was like a year wait till you could actually compete, but it appears as though he transferred and will be competing almost immediately in the qualifying tournaments.
oh yeah, I don't know how that. I don't. We were talking about that yesterday in the chat, and Spay
So
was
you are
trying to
supposed to
figure
wait a
out.
year.
Well, there are supposed to be transfer like things you have to pass through. And we all thought that there was at least a year or two in between that, and
Yes.
but it sounds like he might be able to somehow represent. We hold on. We should set up and talk about what it was first. So,
Okay, because
um,
he just competed in the Russian Nationals not but a couple months ago.
right, Khetag Tsabolov, he's world champion, Russian Nationals champion. He, as Ben just mentioned, was second at Russian Nationals. He actually beat um, Sidakov to make the finals and then lost to the young guy Samalov. Um,
Mhm.
but it's being reported that he is going to transfer to Serbia, which I mean they're absolutely loaded it that way. It's very tough to make the team in Russia. Um, and the reports make it sound like he'll be able to compete right away, and he'll be at like these uh, Olympic qualifying weight tournaments to try to wait for Serbia. Now we
Like 1
haven't
month
seen
from
any.
now, like almost right
Right?
away.
Yeah, like right away. We haven't seen anything official or had like confirmation from UWW on that or how he's able to. But yeah, there is supposed to be some kind of. So the
So,
Kozak says you only have to wait 2 years if the country can
yeah.
test it. I can't imagine Russia just letting this happen.
I mean, he literally just beat Sidakov like 3 months ago. Maybe he's got some dirt on him or something. I always think when this stuff happens, maybe he's got the goods. But in Russia, they don't let that go easy because they might try to kill someone over something like that. You know, if you got the dirt on them. So I don't know how they're letting him go. He just wrestled for Russia. He is absolutely a threat to beat whomever the representative is. He could beat them, and it wouldn't really be that much of a shock. And I think this makes the 74 kilogram bracket significantly harder. I should scroll over and see what you guys have him ranked. What do you guys have him ranked on your site right now?
I don't know off the top of my head. We can go look there real quick.
Yeah, because I mean, he's got it. He's absolutely a top 10 guy. I mean, he just beat Sidakov. He beat
He's
Kurbanaliev,
number
and then
two. He's number
he's
two.
number 2. Yeah, he's number 2. I knew he was high. I mean, how are you gonna let this man go? What if Serbia beats Russia in the Olympic finals? Come on, man.
Man, that is
That
this is
so
insane. I
crazy.
mean, he's ranked above Jordan Burroughs right now.
Yeah. That stinks. I mean, another landmine in the bracket. Um, yeah, wow.
And this is this
Maybe
is this is
maybe
like a
United
big.
States can contest it.
Yeah, you seriously should be able to as other countries. Um,
Or you know what we
and
could
this is
do? We
why
could have
we
the loser of Burroughs and Dake go, and they could transfer to Canada and represent them, so we get both of them in there. It's actually not a bad idea.
not a bad idea. But we get to count if one of them is representing Canada and wins, we count it as
Oh yeah,
an American
American
medal.
medal
Yeah.
for sure.
Okay. Yeah. I
Absolutely.
mean, Canada's
Maybe we could just
America.
tell
That's
Canada they don't get a team anymore, and our second team is now Canada North. I'm sorry, America North.
yeah. Just
You
like
think
Minnesota North. Yeah. North Dakota North. North Dakota.
North Dakota? There we go. Boom. Wow,
uh, yeah. Kozak says he's 2-1 versus Sidikov. That is insane. Um,
that is totally insane. Yeah, I mean,
Man,
yeah, I
go ahead,
almost feel like
man.
something had to happen. Well, I almost feel like something had to happen because maybe they told him for sure Zamalov is going to be the representative, but I feel like, we don't have great insight into the Russian selection process for the world team. But at this point, it didn't feel like there was a really, really clear favorite for the team. Obviously Zamalov won, but then you have Sidakov, two-time champ, and then Sabalov just beat Sidakov, so it's not obvious who their starter is going to be.
Yeah, and Restag. If you don't know Restag, it's like almost like the flow wrestling of wrestling in Dagestan. And they made a Facebook post. This is actually from back in January. Apparently, there were rumors of this going down in January, and someone asked if it was true that he was going to transfer to Serbia, and they just said, and this is a translation, so it's pretty broken. All kinds of talk about the
Dude, I,
intentions
lo-
of
I
the
love it when
fighters
you read
to
broken translations, Kyle. It's my favorite.
all kinds of talk about the intentions of the fighters to speak for one country or another. We prefer not to publish such information. We inform about the transitions of fighters only when it can be said about it as fait accompli. I don't know. Yeah. So they're saying they're not going to speak about it until it's like official. Um,
Yeah.
but it sounds like it's happening. That was over a month ago.
Yeah. Damn. That's crazy. The bracket just got way tougher at 74. Under my proposal, if I got to run it, I would have 4 wild cards anyways. Um, and so I think that he probably would get in. So maybe we're moving more towards that system.
And this is why people think Jordan Burroughs is the GOAT, is because he's beaten all these dudes from other countries, but they're
Yeah.
Russians. He's beaten 4 and 5
Mhm.
Russians to win world titles, to win world medals. And
Yes.
back in the day, they were all under the Soviet Union flag. So and if he wins
Well,
this,
not only that, so I mean, to what you're saying, yeah. So in '96 and before, really, there was well, a little earlier than that, USSR, and there was only one competitor. Now there's all
right.
these other ones, Uzbekistan, et cetera, et cetera. But then on top of that, now we have this transfer system where people are going other places. So not only do you have all of the countries that were in the Soviet Union, but you have all these other people transferring to, right? There's some in France, there's some in Serbia, there's some in Italy. They're kind of going all over the
Hmm.
place so they can find a spot at the World Championships. And I think because other people are probably paying them also would be my other guess. So yeah,
Yes.
I mean, the field is. I mean, let's just think about how much deeper the field is when you add one Russian. What if they got to have Zamalov, Sabalov, Sidakov, and Kurbanaliyev in the field? Right now the
Yeah.
field. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, it's ridiculous. I mean, to that
Yeah.
and
I
to
mean, you
that
look
point,
at. Go
yeah,
ahead.
to that point, it's like that's probably why everyone looks so highly upon. Oh my God, Tbilisi, right? When people won that because that had all of these Russians in it, and the amount of Americans that won the Tbilisi, I think, was smaller than the amount of Americans that won the World Championships, if I'm remembering correctly.
And like looking at just 74 kilograms alone, and it's like this at pretty much every weight of Kozak's rankings here. There are 7 Russians in the top 17. That's
Seven,
that's
yeah,
insane.
it's so crazy. And I don't,
And
but
then,
when you said that, because I was going to look through this, I don't know that any of these other countries in the top 17 are Russians that have transferred. Obviously now, right, that's not going to be the case with Sabalov. But if you go to
hmm
other weights, I'm blanking right now. I feel like I need to scroll through and find a few Russians that are wrestling for other teams, like Shabana in Belarus. Like, wasn't he a Russian or no? I'm
I'm not
struggling
sure
to
to be
find one.
honest with you.
We need Spay on here or
We
Kozak or
need,
somebody.
yeah, we need one of
Well,
the international
Musakayev,
guys
there,
that.
yes, I thought Musakayev would be a great example of someone who was a Russian who is
Yep,
now Hungarian,
yep,
making the bracket way tougher.
yep.
Um,
So
will be, will
yeah,
be
good
interesting to
luck.
see how
Good,
that plays
just
out.
makes yeah, 74 kilograms was already one of the toughest weights in the world, and it appears it's going to get even tougher at the Olympics.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
anything else you saw on Twitter last night? I'm glad this week you are seeing everything on Twitter, unlike last week when you missed it all and then were shocked on the show.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? You guys got an authentic reaction, so
We
I think that's
did.
good that we did that. Um, no, I saw this. You actually put the tweet in here. Wrestling Seton Hall Pirate or Wrestling Pirate, whatever his name is. Um,
Hmm.
and this just, I mean, kind of further goes to the stupidity of what they're doing right now. But he said the MAC did not get credit for EWL; they did get credit for EMU and ODU, both who had a significant amount of bids to the tournament and now are no longer in the tournament. So, um, yeah, maybe that's why. And I think he didn't put it in there, but I would think they would have gotten some from Northern Iowa also, who was once upon a time in the MAC within the last 5 years. So they would have gotten bids from all three of those teams who are no longer in the MAC.
Yes, they did get bids from Northern Iowa for the years they were there. So yeah, they did, and then like you said, they got bids for Eastern Michigan and Old Dominion, who dropped their programs, who don't
Do not
even
exist
choose to
anymore.
sponsor the sport anymore. Um, and they did
So
that
crazy.
just because they wanted to. It's BS. Uh, so I don't know. I've not heard anything about these allocations changing. I hope that they do. There was still plenty of time to change them. I mean, the
Plenty of
most recent
time.
yeah, the first conference tournaments aren't until next week, so you got plenty of time to correct your wrong. Let's do it. Let's get this right. Let's get the 33 best guys at the national tournament.
Yeah. I agree totally. Now in Davidson done for the season due to pause activities, and I guess this doesn't seem like a big deal because it's Davidson and we're gonna have minimal NCAA qualifiers. But I think this highlights like this could happen to. I mean, this just happened to Iowa. Meaning they
Right.
paused their activities. This happened to Michigan. Like, what if this was Penn State or another really big time program? I mean, this is again why I said if
Yeah.
I were these big time programs, I would cut athletes for a month. I would say, listen, don't show up for a month. We cannot have extra positive tests. So I'm sending you home for a month. Go do whatever the hell you want, but you can't be here.
Yeah. It's really scary, man. As you said, I mean, Davidson's not going to qualify 10 guys nationals, but it just shows that this can happen at any time. And I mean, you can try to limit the guys that are around, but what if it's a coach that tests positive and he knocks out 4 or 5 guys for contact
Yeah.
tracing, or just one guy on the team? Um, yeah, it's scary because I don't want this to happen to anyone. I feel really bad for the Davidson wrestlers that don't even have their chance to fight for an opportunity or allocation to get to the tournament. Um, Man, it's freaking awful, and I just
So
hope that this doesn't happen to any other team.
okay, so I know they grilled us. People were mad that we weren't experts on the qualification procedure, but I mean, listen, who could be
Yes.
an expert this year because they changed it 24/7. But here's my question to you, and if you don't know, it's fine. 'Cause I don't know the answer. If someone like someone else, like you said, a bigger time program, did what Davidson did and said we're pausing our team activities and they're going to miss the conference tournament. If their guys had the right amount of matches, they could still qualify for nationals, correct? By an at-large bid,
Yes, to my
right? Or no?
understanding, yes, I believe so because they're missing for COVID. Like they're missing the conference
Yes.
tournament because of COVID, and that's you can't just miss your conference tournament because you're hurt. Now, I don't know how they go about like proving that. Like let's say it's one kid on Ohio State's team that gets contact traced, and he misses the Big Ten tournament by 2 or 3 days. Um,
Yes.
how do they go about proving that's why he missed the tournament, as opposed to just like he was banged up and uh, couldn't wouldn't have been 100%. You know what I mean? Like
You gotta bring your
I
evidence.
don't.
You gotta bring your evidence.
Yeah,
Just like when you told your sixth grade teacher you didn't do your homework, Kyle. You gotta bring some evidence. right? That's only
So
fair.
that, yeah, yeah, yeah. As far as I understand it, if you miss for COVID and you have 4 matches against D1
You can get an
opponents,
at-large bid.
you can get you are eligible to be considered for an at-large bid. Yes.
Yeah. So, like, if you were to say roll your ankle and you're actually going to miss it, you just need to put an ad out on Craigslist that says, I need a friend who has a positive corona test right now. Hang out with them one day. Your contact traced. Your ankle injury no longer matters because you missed conference because the contact tracing.
Boom.
Right? Boom. There you
Yeah.
go. Bring your
Yeah.
evidence. Yeah.
Luke, while we're on the topic of qualifying stuff, Luke Wise put a good question in the Facebook chat. If everything goes chalk at ACC tournament at 165, Thomas Bullard will need an at-large and will have a losing record of 4-6. So I guess he's saying, like,
Seriously. I mean,
if he has a
that's
record of 4-6, can he get an at-large? And I would
why
say
can't he?
yes. When you look at his, no, I think he could. It's just like, would he be? I think he's
No.
asking, like, would he be at risk of not getting one for having a 4-6 record?
Yeah, and listen, I don't have the names in front of me, but I've talked to some people about this year. Is like, dude, if you're the Big Ten, you could go into conference with like 1-5 record, and you could be top 20 in the country. That is
Yep.
definitely feasible. And so, if you
But
go into conference with 1-5 record, and you're the 8th best in the conference, you're going to come out of the conference tournament with a freaking 3-8 record. And yes, you should qualify for nationals because you're the 20th best guy in the bracket.
100% agree. And if you look at Bullard's resume, he has a loss to Fermato, who's top 20, Jake Keating, who's top 15, Monday, who's top 15, and Makai Lewis. And then he also has a win over Jake Winsel. So
Yeah,
he would absolutely get in. And like
he's
to Ben, to your
absolutely a
point,
top 20 guy.
right, 100% agree. And then to what you're talking about, the Big Ten, the guy that comes to mind for me uh, in that kind of situation is Nick Aguilar. He's 0-4 on the year, but he lost to Dylan Ragusin, Malik Heinzman, Devin Schroeder, and Pat McKee. All guys who are ranked
Yes,
in the
I mean,
top 15.
legit. That's the guy. That's the kind of guy I'm talking about. Are they gonna have another match before conference or no? Because I mean, legit, all those guys are
Ruck,
probably top 15, right? I mean, on your site, are
they
they
are, yeah.
top 15?
Yep,
Okay. So, I mean, he
yep,
could be the 17th best guy in the country and not have a damn win.
I know. And he would. Rutgers does wrestle Maryland this weekend, so he should get in the win column, and then he'll have the Big Ten tournament with obviously plenty of chances to knock off a bunch of those guys that he's beaten before. Yeah, the lowest ranked
But
guy that he's lost to
in
is
the
number
case that he doesn't
16.
knock them off, he still deserves a bid.
I think so too. I would think so too. I think you almost have to like go back and look at what they were last year as well. If because a
Yes.
lot of these guys you're going to be looking at have less than 10 matches of a body of work this season. So I think you have to.
Okay, so look at this. In your top 21, so you guys have Nick Aguilar at 25. In your top
Mhm.
21 wrestlers at 125 pounds, you guys have 12 in the Big Ten. Okay, so
Yeah.
he's likely going to win one match against Maryland, but he'll be seated like 13th or something at conference.
Hmm.
He ain't gonna win a lot of matches. He should absolutely go to the NCAA tournament with a record of like 2-8, probably somewhere in there. Don't get offended by that. He should go to the national tournament with a
I'm
record of
not.
two
I'm
and eight.
not. I'm not
You're
at
laughing
all.
at that,
I
but that is
mean,
true.
no, I'm laughing just because it's funny to hear out loud. But you're absolutely right. He was 24. He was 24-11 last year with wins over Eric Barnett and Justin Cardani. He had 2 wins over Eric Barnett. He has a win over Michael D'Agostino. Um,
Yes.
Malik Heinzelman he beat last year. Like this dude is a top 25 guy in the country. He's just had a really rough go of it because of what's been on Joel. Um, I actually thought because remember there was an FRL when we talked about um, you wanted to know because we talked about this. Can someone go like 0-8, 0-9, or 1-8 in the Big Ten and still qualify for nationals? And I actually thought that a candidate for that would be Justin Cardani because he was ranked like 21, 22 to start the season, and I think 8 of his 9 duels he was wrestling someone ranked above him. But he's actually 2-5 on the year and has beaten Barnett and
He's
beat
actually
Brock
2-5.
Huckins.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
both
well,
guys he beat were top 20 guys. So I mean, he could legit be 0-7 and be a 20th ranked guy or something.
yeah, yeah.
So crazy.
Um, and I mean, like Luke Wise just said, there's going to be AAs this year that get into the tournament with losing records and maybe even
Oh
finish
yeah.
there if they were in the
No,
hole
they're
that
likely going
much
to
to
finish
start
with
the.
a losing record
Yeah, yeah.
for sure.
It's going to be it's going to be insane, but I think this tournament's going to be a lot of fun because you're going to get to see a lot of matches you haven't seen so far this season. There's probably going to be a lot of upsets. Um,
Yes.
Bring it on, bring on the madness, bring on the chaos. I'm here for it.
Yes. So Cardani has his last match this weekend against Liam Cronin, who is you guys have him at 7. He's gonna likely go into the
Yeah,
conference tournament 2-6. Aguilar's likely gonna go to the conference tournament 1-4. Yeah, those guys are both national qualifiers, and man, that's just when the Big Ten can't wrestle anybody else. That's kind of how it turns out sometimes. Um, so what I was talking to
and this
some of my
is
college kids about is that you would have, in the beginning, you'd have a bunch of open tournaments where a Big Ten
right.
starter is likely going to win 80 to 90% of their matches. And then you have some easier duels where a Big Ten starter is likely going to win 60 to 70% of their matches. So by the time they get to the Big Ten schedule, their wins are significantly more than their losses unless they're just not very good.
Correct. Absolutely. Um, in those open tournaments were the places where, like the Michigan State Open, is a place that I
Yeah.
know Ohio went to every year, and it was a chance for us to see Michigan and Michigan State and Ohio State and Purdue and Illinois. Like there were all these Big Ten teams that went, so it was a chance for us to see those guys. Or when we went to the Scuffle, or when we went to Midlands. So it really stinks that those schools were had their opportunity taken away to get those quality wins. This is why it's important to look at who you've beaten or who you wrestled and not just a record, you know?
Yes, absolutely.
So
Yeah. It's gonna be so funny. Oh, looking at a bracket, this guy's 1-7, that guy's 2-8. Like that's gonna be
yeah.
on brackets. Like that is gonna be historical because it's probably never, ever, ever gonna happen again. And
I
you look back at
remember
these brackets.
I remember last year during the bracket show, we were freaking out because we're watching live as the brackets get revealed, and Cam Coy of Virginia was in the field, and he was 4-6. He like didn't wrestle like hardly at all, and then came back for ACCs and stole a spot, and he was 4-6, and we were dying laughing. We thought that was hilarious. Oh my God, there's 4-6 wrestlers in the field, and now this year there's going to be like a 4-6, multiple 4-6 wrestlers.
At every weight, every single weight. You
Yeah.
good there? You had a few glitches. You in the Matrix?
I, internet's been weird here this morning. Internet's been weird.
Power's going out again. You're getting rolling blackouts.
We haven't been part of the rolling blackout, so hopefully that doesn't happen during the show.
For
For the
real.
first time, we've been up and rolling this whole time, luckily.
Luckily,
But
somehow, some way.
somehow, some way. Let's talk about this real quick. California Baptist, they've been making the transition to D1 the past few years. They've been wrestling a mainly D1 schedule the past few years. Have been at like CKLV and stuff like that. Um, they are going to be part of the Big 12 when they have their initial D1 season, the 2022-2023 season. So the Big 12 loses one California team in Fresno State and picks up another one. You gotta love those conferences that run from Morgantown, West Virginia, all the way to California.
Well, so everyone, I was trying to think was everyone on the West Coast is either they're all Big 12. Where else do they go?
Well,
Or
yeah,
Pac-12. I
you
guess
still
you
have the
have the Pac-12,
Pac-12.
which is
Yeah,
much
but it's
diminished
down to
because there's only 5.
five teams now. Which I
They should
think
just
if
combine
they
that.
lose, they might stay woke on that.
Stay woke.
Stay woke on that happening. I'm just saying,
I mean,
like
it would be better
the
for all the
Pac-12
athletes.
has they have 6 because remember they added Little Rock last year, and
Oh
it
yeah.
made no sense that they added Little Rock,
But Little Rock should be in the MAC
but
or SoCon or something. Or Big 12.
SoCon would make a lot of sense, or the Big 12. That was the first one that came to mind. Was it should be in the Big 12, um, but so they'll lose Stanford next season, so then they go down to 5. Remember, if they drop below 4, they no longer earn allocations, and every
So
single
then
bid
they
that they
have to
get to the
go.
NCAA tournament will have to be an at-large.
So they would
The
have
Big
to go in
12,
with someone else, essentially.
yeah, the Big 12 ran into that issue. Man, it was probably like 5 years ago. They technically had no automatic qualifiers. They had because it was only the 4 legacy schools: West Virginia, Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, and Iowa State, and then they absorbed all those Western Wrestling Conference schools, and have only gotten
Mhm.
bigger since then. Um,
Um, so hold on. So yeah, I would just combine those. So how big is the Big 12 now with Cal beat them? Well, I guess they lose Fresno State, so it doesn't make them any bigger, huh?
So you lose Fresno State, and then you add Cal Baptist, it'll be 12. So it's 12 right now.
Okay,
You lose 1, 11, and you go back up to 12 in a few years.
got it. Hey, so Jason Bryant's in the chat. You know, he always has great facts for us. He said the worst wild card of all time. And this is Jason Bryant's opinion, not mine. And I don't remember this guy. This is my era, and I don't remember this guy, which is really rare because I looked at everything. It's Caleb Flores from Northern Iowa. He was 9-21 and somehow got a wild card into NCAAs,
Dang.
which I don't remember that.
Is
You
this
remember? Well, you're too young. You wouldn't remember that.
I do not, but it looks like Caleb Flores is now the head coach at Vanguard University.
Where's that? What's that? I never heard of it.
I don't know. I don't know what Vanguard is. But I just searched his name on Twitter and found that he is the head wrestling coach at Vanguard. It's in Costa Mesa, California, it looks like.
Yeah. Um. Okay. So we got
That's good
questions or
info there
what?
from. Yeah, let's get to some questions from friends. There's some good ones. I put the dual rankings in the doc, but there's honestly not much there. Penn State just kind of took over Michigan's spot there at number 2. We had them at number 3 before they kind of started the season, and other teams picked up big wins. But now that they get the best win of the season, they go to number 2. But other than that, not much changes. Um,
Yep.
Pat Fetter, he
I like
wants
that.
Ben. Did you for
Okay. Go ahead with that one.
We'll go to the one you like in a second. We'll go to the one you like in a second.
You already
Uh,
know? I didn't even tell you.
no, I don't. No, I don't. I don't know. I'm just saying we'll go to whatever one you want to in
Okay,
a
got
second.
it.
But did Ben forget about Mackay scoring 4 back points in the NCAA finals against a 2-time national champion? Also, he does agree with you, Gable greater than Mackay. But like I said, we'll address that in a few months, likely.
So that listen, he's not saying anything. What because I said he doesn't score a bunch of points on top or something. Is that what he's trying to reference here?
Well, no,
Um,
I think he's saying that because I said to you, you don't think Mackay is like capable of scoring 4 points in a third period, and then you said he would have to score a bunch of takedowns to do it.
yeah. I mean, listen, he scored the back points in the national finals because Vincenzo got a little greedy and probably a little should have been a little more careful and got cradled. But to act like Mackay Lewis is a top machine that's totally tenuous. He's not Spencer Lee. He's not Zane Rutherford. He's not Logan Stieber. Um, man, he does not score gigantic on top on a regular basis. So, Pat, get lost.
Hey, he agrees with your second. He agrees with Gable over Mackay. All right, what do you want? Which one did you want to
Well,
go to?
I wanted to go to the Michigan and Missouri duel. That sounds like a lot of fun,
Okay,
and maybe we just run through it really fast.
let
But
me pull up a
the
sheet at
okay.
least to keep our scores.
But he also says that Michigan should get Stevan Micic, and I say get lost. he does not get Stevan Micic because Stevan Micic has to wrestle at least one match before you can count him on your team. So no, you don't get him. You got to go with Ragusin and Medley.
All right. Okay. So who's at 125?
Ragusin, Connor Brown.
Ragusin versus Brown. Okay, who you got, Ben?
I mean, we'll just go higher ranked guy, so we don't have to debate too hard. And Ragusin's a higher ranked guy, so I think that's fair.
Yeah. 33 would be Schmidt versus Medley.
Medley, I think you go Schmidt's higher ranked. And both those, I think they're both competitive matches that could kind of go either way, but I think you just lean towards the higher ranked guy.
Yep, and then 41 is Hart versus Drew Matton.
41's possibly bonus because Hart's been scoring tons of bonus. I mean, way more than I would have anticipated. I'll call on.
Nick Lee didn't even bonus Drew Matton though.
Okay, fair enough. No bonus. Let's see what his rate is.
I mean, he was close, but Nick Lee bonus is way more than Alan Hart.
Yeah, you're right. It's only 50% bonus. So he has 2 tech falls, a pin, and 2 majors. So yeah. Okay. Regular decision.
Okay. And then Mahler versus Storr. You go Mahler.
You got to go Mahler. Yep, way higher.
Yeah, no, agreed. And then 57 is Luan versus Jake Hughes.
Ooh, that's a good one right there. What do you guys have them ranked? So you have them 8 and 10. That's a coin flip to me. That could really go either way. I mean, Jake Hughes is ranked higher, but I could definitely see Luan beating him.
I would lean Jake Hughes. I don't know. I haven't loved what I've seen from Will Luan this year. I know he's not an offensive dynamo, but really seems to be kind of struggling even more than usual. He had the tiebreaker match with Elijah Cleary on Friday night. He came out on top of it. He does a lot of these close matches, but then he didn't even sniff a takedown against Berge.
Yeah. Man, damn. We're talking about records. He's 4-5 on the season. Brutal. So his wins are against Johnny. I can never say this guy's name. Molagusis, Nick Santos, Bretley Reyna, and Michael Doach. So he doesn't really even have a ranked win on the season. He lost to Garrett Model, Kaynard, Saldate, Kendall Coleman, and Will. Oh my gosh, I'm looking up Elijah Cleary. I'm an idiot.
I was about to say Iowa didn't wrestle Michigan. Will Luan's 4-1 on the year.
4-1. Yes, I'm a moron. So he beat Kaynard, Cordillo, Ortiz, and Cleary. So actually, he hasn't wrestled a very tough schedule when you look at it like that.
No. The only ranked win there is Caneyard. That's number 25. I think Jake Hughes. Then at 65, you have Amin versus your boy
Keegan. This should be fun. Amin's actually having a really good year.
It'd be a fun match. Yeah, I mean, I think
you know who I'm going to pick, but I'm significantly biased, so you could go whichever way you want, and that's probably more fair because I'm so biased.
No, you're fine. I'd take Keegan. I would take Keegan in this match.
Okay.
Missouri's running away with this or not. So far, let's see what happens on the back end here. 74. Massa, who is he wrestling?
And that's my other guy. So I got to be
Mako. Yeah,
Mako. I mean, he's high. He's number like 10 or 11, but
yeah. So we're at 15-6 Missouri right now, and we go.
But they're favored at 84 also.
Yeah, Kent wins that. Although Bullock, I'll tell you what. Did you watch his match against Aaron Brooks?
No, but I heard everyone was really pleased with how he performed.
Yes, he wrestled great. He was close to a couple takedowns in the first. Then he went and got one in the third period to prevent the major. If I'm not mistaken, he was a really late get for Michigan in the class. He was an Old Dominion commit, and I think actually signed, but then once they dropped the program, was back on the market, and was a really late ad by Michigan. And man, it looks like he could be really good. I was really impressed with Jaden Bullock. But yeah, Kent's the
Kent's the
favorite
pick.
there.
Kent's 14.
97, Amin versus
He's a favorite.
Elam. So that's 18-9 in favor of Missouri, and then Paris over Elam
Paris wins.
again.
Yeah.
So
Mizzou wins.
18-12 is what we have it.
But there's tons of good matches there. I mean, there was a whole bunch of matches where there's really there's not very many that are not competitive in that mix. Where you say one guy's way better than the other one. I think the biggest lock from Michigan would be at heavyweight with Paris.
Yeah.
And what's the biggest lock from Missouri? Mahler, maybe? Or 41, possibly?
Yeah, I would say
One of those.
41.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the way Hart's been wrestling.
That's a fun duel.
Yeah, that's a really fun duel because 25 and 33, I could see going either way. 57 is the same way. 65 is going to be a lot of fun. You saw Amin; he's not afraid to try some stuff, and obviously Keegan is awesome.
Yeah.
I really liked watching Bully wrestle. Yeah, that's a fun duel.
Yeah,
All
that'd be
right.
a lot of fun. Okay, the other one I really
let's go
liked,
to Jeremy.
Okay,
go ahead, Ben.
This is a good one. More likely, Iowa wins by 40 or they don't win. And I think I know the answer to this. I think it's more likely they win by 40. For sure. Man, their chances of losing at this point are Corona. If I could have a Corona status in here where I got my money back, if their guys got Corona, I would bet this for sure.
And, I mean, you look at the team tournament rankings right now, we have them winning by like 60.
Yeah. Yeah. I think
66 and a half. 66 and a half right now over your new number 2, Virginia Tech. But that's, of course, because Mackay
Virginia
dropped
Tech
down
Hokies, number 2 in the country. You might not be biased on that one, though. But you might be.
I'm not biased. The reason is we didn't drop Mackay, and then Bolin took over number 1 when Amin went to 97. So that's the reasoning. They might. I mean, even if we did drop Mackay, he's probably at number 3. You'd probably go Marinelli 1, Winsel 2, and Mackay 3. So they lose a few points. You lose champ points. So, I mean, they're still at number 3 probably. But in that, obviously, this includes no bonus points for anybody in that either. So, but no, I totally agree with you. It's the more likely scenario is they win by 40. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Craig Donor wants to know, Ben, how many D1 AAs this year from the great state of Wisconsin?
You know what I actually wanted? I wanted to see a historical breakdown because I know we don't have a lot. But I was thinking this year is going to be better than in a long time, and not just because of the guys I coach, but like Stephen Buchanan, I didn't coach him. I think he's got a great shot. I think that Barnett, I didn't coach him really at 25. I think he's got a really good shot. And then obviously, I think Keegan and Peyton both have good shots. So, I think Wisconsin's on the upswing. I think we could have 3 or 4 this year for sure.
I know that there is.
Go ahead.
What's that? I was just going to say, I know this is so much fun doing this remote like this. So apologies.
I know it feels like you're delayed. Yeah, it sucks.
No, there definitely is. It's worse when we're at home than in the studio, and we apologize for it. But unfortunately, with this freaking stupid weather we're having, we're lucky we're even able to do this. But I know there are.
You guys put him. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was supposed to badger you about that on Monday. Let me see where you guys put him.
He's in.
22, baby. There we go. Nice.
Yeah.
Mason Kaufman's another Wisconsin guy that I didn't coach. So, yeah, Wisconsin has quite a few guys in the rankings. I would say likely significantly more than we have in any other recent time. So, yeah, let's go Wisconsin.
This is quite an improvement. I remember a few years ago, I was giving you crap because I think West Virginia and Wisconsin had the same amount of AAs with
Oh,
one.
or national qualifiers maybe even. It was not a lot.
Okay, yeah. So I remember giving you crap about that one time when
Mhm.
Jared AA'd. I think there might have been yeah, I think we might have had more national qualifiers and then had like the same number of All Americans.
Yeah, something like
That's
that.
funny. But I know there's a D1
Mhm.
coach that thinks like Wisconsin is very underrated and becoming kind of a little hotbed.
Yeah, well, I would say yes. I would say yes to that.
You are a
Absolutely.
big reason for that. Uh, Someone asked
Okay.
us, Jeff Kleinsmith, he wanted to know who the biggest surprises were at the America and Captain's Cup. At America's Cup, I'm
Well,
not sure I was really surprised by too much. Were you?
no, I don't feel. I feel like no, not at all. I don't feel like there's anyone that kind of came out of
I'll
nowhere.
I'll
But
tell
the
you
one
what
for the
though.
cap. Oh, I know you're gonna say. I know who you're gonna say it. Go ahead and say it. Wisconsin bred.
Well, yes, we'll get to her in a second. But America's Cup, maybe the only person that surprised me was Pat Lugo. Like I don't know, even in these losses, he looks really good. Like he wrestled Yanni really tough. And
Yanni
that
won
was
8
like
to
a
2.
fun.
That was not all that competitive.
It wasn't like I don't know. He scored a couple takedowns late though. Like
Wait,
I don't know.
I thought
I
Yanni won
found
8 to 2. Wasn't that the final score?
I think I think he did, but I'm pretty sure a couple of the takedowns were pretty late in the match. I think they had some like
No,
really
but
good
if Lugo
exchanges
only had
early.
2, but hold on, if Lugo only had 2 points, then how could he have scored more than one takedown?
I'm not saying Lugo scored more one take. I'm saying Yanni scored the takedowns late to pull
Oh,
away.
you're saying Yanni scored late. Okay, I got you. I got you.
Yeah,
I got you.
yeah.
Got it.
I don't know. Like every match he wrestles, I'm just impressed with him. He had a really cool, fun match with Nashon Garrett. It was like 10-7.
Yep.
Um, I don't know. I just come away impressed with him every time I watch him wrestle. Yeah, it was 5-2 with a minute to go. 3-2
Yeah.
with 1:30 to go. Yeah, so I don't know. I impressed with Pat Lugo, but then yeah, in Captain's Cup, Macy killed. Literally the
Macy
first
Korty.
match of the event. Yeah, there's another Wisconsin tie.
Her
She
and Keegan used
teched
to go at
Mallory
it
Velty.
back when they were little tykes.
Are you serious?
Oh, they wrestled multiple times. I think probably when they were like, I don't know, 10 or 11 or a long time ago.
Oh, that's awesome. Who would win?
Yeah. I think Keegan won, but they were all really competitive. And don't quote me on that he won all of them. I don't know that for sure. That's kind of what I remember, but not it's been 10 years now or so. Yeah, she's on
That's
fire.
awesome. Yes, yes, she really is. Perfect 3-0 weekend. She teched Mallory Velty. She teched XMP, who has a win over Allie Reagan. Um, she looked amazing this weekend. Also, I know Space said it on Twitter. He responded to Jeff's tweet, but uh, Reina's performance was really good too. She goes 3-0. Brenda Reina, sorry, 3-0
Yep.
on the weekend, and then Emily Shilson getting a win over Amy Fernside was really impressive as well, as Faye pointed out. Um, that was a lot.
So
Did
the
you
other
get to
thing,
watch
wait,
the
can we go back to
final?
Macy Kilty? Can we go back to Macy
Yeah,
Kilty for one
yeah,
second, Kyle? The other thing about
sure.
her, because I even feel like this, and then when I think about it, I remember, but it feels like she's kind of been around forever, and I think it makes her feel older than she is. But then I remember like her and Keegan are the same age, so she's like a first year college, or like she's
Yeah.
definitely junior eligible still. She's super young, and so she's still making these gigantic leaps year over year. And I don't know why. Maybe it doesn't feel like that to you, but to me, it kind of feels like she's been around forever. But and then I have to remind myself she's still so young, and so she's going to keep making huge developments.
No, it definitely feels like she's been around forever. But that's a good reminder because I think just because she's been on the national scene for so long, I'm gonna look at when she made her first world team here.
It feels like it's been a
2006,
while.
2016.
Yeah.
She was cadet world bronze in 2016. So she's been on world teams like every year since then too, at some level.
Mhm.
U23s, juniors. And now she's starting to break into that senior level and getting a win over Mallory Velty, a dominant 11-0 win over Mallory Velty, who has a world bronze medal, senior world bronze medal, is crazy impressive.
Yes, agreed totally. So I think she was the
Ben,
standout of the weekend.
Cody Arnold put it in the chat, and isn't Jagger Ice the one that we talked about on FRL not too long ago about the ref didn't bring him up? Like he left him on bottom
Yes,
forever?
he is. He is. That's so funny. And he had a huge weekend. He upset Nicolas Rivera in the state finals. So he became a 2-time state champion. How do you remember that I brought that up against what's that North
I don't,
Carolina
that's
kid's
just
name?
it's just a unique name, I think, and it just stuck with me. And then I'm scrolling through Twitter this weekend, and I see him get the winning takedown to beat Rivera. I'm like,
Yeah.
dang, that's the kid. Is he one of yours?
Yeah, he goes out of our Green Bay facility with Coach Josh.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So yeah, he did a great job. Man, that's funny you brought that up. Man, I'm trying to remember that North Carolina kid's name. I don't recall right now. Anyway, let's keep going.
It's someone good. Yeah, it's someone
I
good.
didn't know Cody Arnold was a Wisconsin guy. Is he?
He's a
Oh, he's a
Minnesota. I know
Minnesota
he's a
guy.
big
Jagger's
Minnesota
going to
fan, so
Minnesota.
maybe. There you go.
Yeah,
There you go.
that's probably why. Mm-hmm.
There's your connection.
Yeah. 5-time
Kozak
NCAA
confirmed
champ.
that.
I know we've talked about this. You want to talk about it again?
Yeah, by the way, Kozak confirmed. Yeah, we'll do it. Kozak confirmed, by the way, that Macy's only 19. So, yeah, your Daily
19.
Vitamin wants to know, is there going to be a 5-time NCAA champ?
Mackay was looking like the most likely to do it. And now that's, especially if he's actually injured, it's going to be really tough. And then, as far as the freshmen, I think if you go most likely in order, I'm actually going to put probably Ferrari at the top of that list. Because I think that weight class is a little easier. Who would you put above him? It's true. You look like, say, Keegan. I think Keegan's really, really good. But then he would have to go through Marinelli and Mackay versus who Ferrari's going to have to go through at 97. And we're just, all we're talking about is likelihoods. We're not, I think he's probably the most likely freshman, which I don't think his likelihood is all that good. Soroki, I probably would have put up there last year, but now I'm not feeling nearly as confident in that call. Who else are you gonna throw up there?
I don't know. I meant to bring this up earlier this week because I think it happened last week after FRL, but the Ivy League said they're going to let graduate students compete athletically, and they usually don't do that. But I think it's only for one season, which I don't think would give Yanni the chance to win. He would have to transfer, I think, to win 5.
But he still can't win 5 because he can't wrestle this year, though.
Well, what if this year counts as another Olympic?
But then he would have to do no, but there's still no way because you have to wrestle this year to get 5 because this year doesn't count. If you don't wrestle this year, every other year you compete in will count. So you have to be wrestling this year. So it can't be.
So wait, he's won 2, and he would have
2 more years of eligibility. This was the year that was free. He's not doing this year.
Dang it.
So he can't.
Dang it,
yes.
Yanni.
So he can't be.
Dang it, Cornell. Dang it,
Seriously.
Ivy Leagues for caring more about freaking school than athletics. Get your priorities straight and get back to me.
So it's gonna be tough for anyone. Oh man, that's funny.
Dang it, me getting years confused. This Jared Henricks kid, he keeps asking if him and his other kid can come visit JD at work. They must be JD's friends, and I'm just asking it so he'll stop asking it. But I think you can come visit. No one cares. Just talk to JD. And then
so listen, guys. I'm not gonna tell anyone the address or nothing. But the Flow HQ. I mean, if you get past the lady in the front, you probably just can wander around all day, eat some snacks from the snack bar, act like you belong, and I don't think anyone's gonna kick you out.
You could, because like I feel like we're constantly hiring new people. So, and especially during like this time when a lot of people haven't been in the office, you could just say you're new, and people will be like, "Yeah, okay, cool, like nice to meet you,"
Yeah,
or
for sure.
whatever. Yeah, as long as you don't have a fever when you check in with the nurse at the front, yeah, you're Gucci. Um,
Yeah, for real.
Nick Croninger, he had a good question for you, Ben. What is a good wrestling workout starter kit for kids who get snowed in, don't have access to a gym or mat? What pieces of equipment are good for a makeshift workout? For example, resistance band, jump rope, small padded mat like a yoga mat. So, if kids are snowed in or maybe
Yeah.
quarantining or whatever, what's a good workout they can do at home, Ben?
Well, I think a 10 by 10 mat would be great, obviously. So you have something to kind of work out on. Um, and if you don't have a partner, right? If you don't have a partner, stance of motion. The one thing that I think you can get a lot of usage out of, if you were talking about is like minimal equipment, kettlebell. You could do so many freaking things with the kettlebell. Oh my
Hmm.
goodness. So that's like the thing I would have that's clutch. I'd probably have two kettlebells, one that's a little lighter and one that's a little heavier, and you could get so much work out of that. So I'll go stance in motion and kettlebells because you're stuck at home from the snow.
Yeah, good stuff. Push-ups always
What would
good
your
too.
go-to
Do
be,
some
Kyle?
push-ups. Just
Push-ups?
do some push-ups. Yeah, do some push-ups, get some crunches, work on do some ab stuff, get the abs going.
Mm, there you go.
If you got some kind of bar or something in your house strong enough to hold you, some pull-ups maybe.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You got one of those grip things. Work on your grip. You know the handle things you squeeze.
Hmm.
Get
That's so
that
I love the
Johnny.
kettlebells because most of them have that fat handle, so you got to like have
Yeah,
especially if you're using a bigger one, you got to have like a decent grip. If you're doing snatches or swings, right? If you do enough swings, your grip starts really tiring out because the weight there. So yeah, I'm a big kettlebell fan.
yeah, agreed. Um, Dylan Morrison, with some of the EIWA's top teams and top guys out, if they perform bad this year, NCAA's will it hurt their allocations for next year when the Ivies come back?
No,
I don't think so because next year should be back to normal and we should have full resumes and it should just go back to the normal criteria that we use to determine who earns allocations, which is like your win percentage, your coach's rank, your quality wins, all that good stuff. So no, it shouldn't impact it,
should not.
and
Yep.
hopefully we just get it changed.
Mm-hmm.
Doug Cordell, is 2020's 133 NCAA still on anyone's mind? What a loaded bracket. I wish we would have seen it. 1 Seabass, 2 Gross, 3 Tucker, 4 Philippi, 5 RBY, 6 DeSanto. Uh, is there any potential bracket this year with that much firepower?
No, that was a good
I don't
bracket.
think that there is
Really,
either.
really
Yeah, I
good
don't.
bracket.
The past
And you
few
could even
years of
go way
133.
past 5, Kyle.
Oh, yeah,
6.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm going to go try to find our last from last year really quick. Because yeah, you're absolutely right. Like I know Sammy Alvarez comes to mind. He was right there with every single person he wrestled.
Yeah, that was such a good bracket.
Um, okay, our final rankings going in to the NCAA tournament: 1 Sebastian Rivera, 2 Seth Gross, 3 RBY, 4 DeSanto, 5 Tucker, 6 Philippi, 7 Pietrowski, 8 Gonzer, 9 Alvarez, 10 Sakura, 11 Montori Bridges, 12 Ridge Lovett, 13 Moser Schwartz, Taylor Lamont's number 15. Like that
It goes
bracket was
deep.
incredibly deep. Yeah, it's very deep. Jamie
Yeah, I mean,
Hernandez all the way down at
Montori Bridges
23.
returning All-American at number 12 is insane.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Okay.
Hmm.
What else? You see anything else you want to answer? But
Um,
Matt Smith asked if there had ever been a major decision in an overtime match because Taraki was a takedown away
oh, yeah.
from majoring Massa after going into the tiebreakers 1-1.
I mean, it's possible, but I can't recall a time when it's ever happened. So I'm gonna say I don't think so.
Yeah, I can't imagine that it's ever happened either.
Yeah.
Choli Van Dyne, he wants to know if Caleb Romero has a loss to Kimmer and sits out his matchups with Soroki and Massa, will he really get the 3 seed at Big Tens?
Definitely possible.
Yeah, it's absolutely possible. I don't know. This has been a big thing that I know Nomad really harped on. It's like we should, like, if guys are hurt, it kind of is what it is, you know. Like it's not punishing them, but if guys also wrestle all their league matches, they should be rewarded.
Yes,
And I see
I
both. I
agree.
see both sides there, and I lean towards
This
rewarding the
year's so
guys that are out in
hard.
the
It's so
streets.
hard this year, though, Kyle.
I know. I
I mean,
know.
it is different than any other year. It's crazy.
I know. Um,
It's depressing.
and then it's really depressing, and you can't even like get mad at guys not wrestling because you don't like they could be
You have no
contact
idea.
traced and you don't know. Like yeah, because the schools obviously aren't going to put up kids' medical information unless or the kid puts it out himself. But it's
Yes.
really frustrating, and yeah, just hope that this is all over soon. Vincent West asked us to predict the folks out NCAA champions. I'd like to wait till CP is back to do that,
We
but
should
I
wait till
think that we
CP's back to
should.
do that.
I think that we should put our picks, our final picks on ice before conference weekend.
Before
which would
conferences?
be, I think before
So I don't
conferences
like,
start.
but then we're gonna do it again, like a week later, right?
That's
When we
true.
look at the brackets,
That's
so I
true.
kind of feel stupid. I kind of feel like yes, if you can predict them before conferences, you're better at this. But then at the same time, I kind of feel stupid because yeah, we're gonna do it again like in a couple weeks. You know what I'm saying?
What if we did, yeah, and we'll have a bracket in front of us and everything. What if we did like who we're leaning towards at that moment, or like who we think the favorite
Um,
is?
what? Yeah, I mean, we could do it, and then we're gonna redo it in like 2 weeks. Yeah.
Well, you just talk about I don't maybe we do like who are the title contenders at each weight because you know there's certain weights where there's only a certain amount of guys that can win really.
Yeah.
So maybe we try to
We
narrow
can do
that
that.
down or do something along those lines. A
Absolutely.
lot of people are asking in Facebook chat if we have any information on tickets for Olympic trials. I'm sorry, we do not. We are not in the know when it comes to that or have any say in that. So I'm sorry. I saw Miles Martin's dad all fired up because he's just trying to get tickets to watch his son wrestle, and
That's
unfortunately,
it.
we
That's
don't
it.
have an answer for you. Um,
Yeah.
Someone asked yesterday. I'm sorry, I don't have the name in front of me, but I just kind of wanted to talk about it. Because Kerry Cole, he's had a nice season at Navy so far. They beat Army in his first year. If he, they asked why he's underrated and why more people don't talk about him. I don't think Kerry Cole's underrated. Do
What?
you?
No, people think so highly of him. That's a dumb question. Next. No one thinks
He's
no
one of
one
the
doesn't
most.
think highly of Gary Colette.
I don't know. Maybe just because there hasn't been a ton of like Navy coverage this year, but I know we didn't have them live any, and they just didn't hit a lot of big name schools this year because of everything going on. They didn't get to hit Cornell. They didn't get to hit Princeton. They usually have some good non-conference stuff that they weren't able to do. So I think that had a lot to do with it. But I don't think anyone in the sport can think more highly of Kerry Colette than wrestling fans do, and he's
No.
doing an awesome job at Navy already. And you look at like we talked about it in the offseason, how well they're already recruiting there with multiple top 100 guys in the class of 2021 and 2022 already committed. So
Yes.
uh, he's going to get that thing rolling there, Navy.
He's doing great.
All right. You got anything else? Anything else, Ben?
Kyle, the sun's coming. The snow will melt. You guys in Texas, you will be fine. I will see you tomorrow. Hopefully, you don't have a rolling blackout. And then, Piles, get back to work, buddy.
All right, guys. We will see you tomorrow. We'll be back as long as these power grids in Texas hold up. You guys stay warm, safe, wherever you are. We'll talk to you tomorrow.